Welcome to 2810 with Nat. I'm your guest. I'm not your guest. I'm actually the host, Natalie. My guest tonight, though, is Helene Cronin. And Helene and I met probably at Swerfa, but also again at Dripping Springs Songwriter Festival. Let's see, I just saw you pop in, Helene. And there are a couple of cool things about her I thought that I should mention. Let's see. Oh, hey, there you are.
Yes. How are
Good
you?
evening. Doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay and everything?
I can. I was
Good.
about to say some cool things about you.
Oh, so I got here just in time.
Yeah, just in time. Hopefully that's all right. I was poking around a little bit on your bio, and I found out you won Kerrville, the New Folk Kerrville contest in 2018, and you were a
I did.
semifinalist at Songwriter Serenade last year, which is super
Mm-hmm.
cool. I feel like both of
Yes, it
those
was
are
fun.
pretty I would say prestigious. Prestigious? Prestigious?
Yeah, I say prestigious too. Well, Kerrville definitely is. I mean, it's just so well known, and it's been, I forget how many 40 something years continuously running
Yeah,
um,
that's amazing.
festival. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm going to
And then you
turn you
also
up.
just released an album in the fall, um,
I did.
Old Ghosts and Lost Causes, which is a cool name.
Thank you.
And I was listening to some of it earlier, liking what I
Oh,
heard.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have
Um,
any favorite?
any
Putting you on the
favorites?
spot.
I'm
I'm just
afraid to
kidding.
mention them now because I didn't make it all the way
Yeah,
through yet. I was like, well, it's about time to go live.
that's totally fine. I was just messing with you.
Yeah, but I did like the vibe of, hold on, let me go to it. I liked the vibe of Devil I Know, like
Oh,
musically,
yeah.
just in the um and I liked the twist lyrically with Careless with a Heart. I wasn't sure where it was going until the hook and I was
The
like, all
very
right,
end.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Um yeah, well congrats on a new album. That's exciting.
Thank you. Thank you. It is still new to me. I know I released it October 11th, but it's just, I've been very proud of that album. It's sort of a life work, kind of a compilation of what I've been working for all these years.
Awesome.
So I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
And it was produced in Nashville, right? In Nashville
Yes,
studio?
yes. Matt King produced it on me, and Matt was an artist, like in '99 and 2000, I think on Atlantic, and then he has been around Nashville a long time. He writes a lot for film and TV, but he's very well known. He's got a different take on things, and he's very, very creative. And I love what he saw in me and was willing, the fact that he was willing to work with me. Um, he's basically changed my life with his vision for what he was able to do because he's an artist, he's a producer, he's a songwriter, and so we had a lot of fun picking out the songs. And he just knew where to aim this, and he got great players to play on it, and so it was a great experience.
I'm glad. Yeah, it sounds great so far. Like very
Thank
full.
you.
And I also I haven't done this as much recently, but I actually now have real speakers in my room. And so I
Ooh,
connected to
good.
my speakers and that's probably also like it just sounds so good. I don't know why I don't do that more, but anyways, so
I know I listen on little earbuds or my computer's desktop.
yeah.
So I do most of my listening in the car. So I have a
Really?
decent system.
I actually
Yeah, I
I
do.
drive in silence normally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's where the melodies come is usually in the car for me.
Yes. Yep. Yep, that happens. That's awesome.
Well, I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
And I think they could be like simple or fast answers. I'm not sure. It just kind of depends. So we'll see if I actually get through all of them. Um,
Those could be fast answers, did you
no,
say?
you don't have to. I think they might be
Okay.
super easy or they might be
Okay.
like they might be short answers, they might be long answers. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
Um, when do you have any memories, like a striking memory of maybe the first time you remember loving music or connecting with a song?
Well, yeah, I mean, high school was when I would, when I was in high, we didn't have Spotify and all that stuff. So I'd be twisting the radio dial, going through all the stations that I knew, trying to catch a song. And,
Hmm.
I loved the Carpenters. I loved Cat Stevens. Um, I think Morning Has Broken was one of the first songs that I actually went out and bought an album because I heard that song on the radio and had to have the album. So I went out and got Teaser and the Firecat.
That's
But yes,
cool.
high school. I mean, I grew up playing piano and started guitar in junior high, and just our family did music together. That's kind of what we did. We sat around after meals and played songs and learned harmonies, and so
That's
it
really
was
cool.
pretty ingrained.
Is your family
Yeah, it was.
musical then? Like,
Hmm?
did your parents do music things for a profession?
No, no, they didn't. But I think, I give a lot of credit to my older brother, who has since passed away, for bringing a lot of that music into the house, for bringing home the songs that he was listening to, the songwriter songs, and then we would all sit around and play them, and then my parents encouraged it. My parents, um, all five of us just about went into well, four out of the five of us went to very artistic careers, and they never said get a real job. They let us pursue what we wanted to pursue. So I give them a lot of credit for that.
When you say play songs after dinner, do you mean you played them on like a record player or you were playing them on an instrument?
We all got our guitars. So not every dinner, but like when we got together for holidays, after Christmas, after dinner and opening gifts and everything, we would sit around the den, and I played guitar. Stuart, my older brother, played guitar. My sister took up mandolin. My next brother played guitar, and we would just all sit around and play and sing and harmonize, and learned. It just had a huge catalog of songs that we would all sing together. So it
That's
was
really
very active.
cool.
Yeah, it was.
That's definitely not a thing I had in my family growing up. Like I'm the only one that
Yeah.
it seems like loves music in
Hmm.
terms of like producing it and playing it and covering and playing
Yeah.
songs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you have a big family too. You have how many kids in your family?
There's six of us total.
Yeah,
There's
we
five
were
brothers and
five.
sisters. Yeah. And they all took piano, but no one likes to play.
Hmm.
So it was like me trying to like convince people to play with me and like
Oh
nobody
wow.
wanting to play.
Nobody wants.
Yeah,
Well,
so very strange.
yeah.
Where I felt very strange. I'm like the only one that like me in my family. Um,
Hmm.
well, those are really sweet memories. I'm curious for you as a songwriter, what is the most satisfying thing about songwriting? It could be a part in the
Oh,
process, or like I don't know.
yeah.
What is that for
That's a
you?
great question. Probably. Well, I'm going to say there's two things. One is actually finishing a song that I love, and knowing that every line says what I want it to say, and then to complete that loop of playing it for other people and finding out that it connects with them too. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me, is getting in front of people and getting that feedback loop. That it matters to them, that the song spoke to them, that I said something they wish they could have said or wanted to say, and so that's probably the satisfying part.
Cool. I resonate with that. Um, and then for you, I'm curious if there are I know I feel like you probably appreciate lyrics too. Is there a lyric that you've heard and you just think that is brilliant? Or like you just really enjoy, or something has really landed and hit you, like a line. It could be
Yeah.
old song, new song, whatever. Just I'm curious what maybe lyrics and who's written them that has stood out to you.
Well, I like. I'm not going to be able to think of one off the top of my head, probably, but writers like Laurie McKenna,
Oh yeah.
Travis Meadows, who write from a very real place, and they'll write something that is unique to their story, like "People Get Old," that Laurie McKenna song.
Yeah.
Um, she just got some great lines in that song, and of course, I love the way I love the values that show up in her songs. And then Travis Meadows, who I don't know if you know him,
I don't
he's
know him
well
like I
known
know
in.
Lori. I know Lori's work a lot
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Killing Uncle Buzzy was the record that kind of, I think, put him on the map. But he's well known in Nashville circles, and I just love how real he is in his songs, and the heart that he brings to them. And so he's one that I follow a lot, and I usually buy whatever he puts out and play it in my CD player in my car. I'm always going to have a car with a CD player the
That's
rest of my life.
I
Yeah,
think they are. I hear they are still making cars with CD players, so that's good.
yeah. Well,
Um,
it might be a special order. But anyway, people like that. I'm trying to think of somebody else. I would say those are two writers that I follow, and I look for lines that they put in. You know, those little zingers that you just go, "Dadgummit, look what they did."
yeah, I'm trying to think the last, it was maybe, there's a line that really stood out to me that Michael Fracasso wrote. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna see if I can think of it. It just like was so shocking to me, and I was like, wow, that was good.
Yeah.
And I heard someone else in the audience gasp also, and I was like, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's
Okay.
really great. And it was
I need to know
something
what that
about,
is.
it was a very long song. I think it was more in like a hymn style where it has a lot of verses, but not
Hmm.
necessarily a chorus, maybe more of a refrain. And there was a part of the
Hmm.
story where he's a soldier and he talked about losing a leg in the war, and something about
Hmm.
how there's like a middle part too that I don't remember, but the zinger was like leading up to with one foot in the ground and like kept
Hmm.
going on, and I was just like, literally, like you buried a leg, like it
Yeah.
just like,
Wow.
whoa. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was just
That's
like,
brave writing.
yes. And like, oh man, it was really great. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was, I don't know, he just like accurately depicted, it just was like a harsh reality, but also like not, kind of tongue in cheek also, just like
Hmm.
matter of fact, like I
Yeah.
lost this, and when you lose something, it's like you bury it
Yeah.
too. It was just, it was good. So that's the last time I remember, like, whoa,
Yeah.
that was really, I don't remember like anything else about that song. I except that it was a
But
long
that
song,
line.
but that line was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and I love it when writers surprise you with stuff like that. And when they find, because you hear it said all the time that everything has been said in songs. I mean, every topic's been covered. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But what we're always looking for as writers is how can I say something in a different way?
Yeah, exactly.
How can I put a different spin? How can I say it without saying, how do you show more than tell? All of that kind of stuff. And so that's where songwriting gets the most frustrating, but the most rewarding when you actually get to do it
Yeah.
when the song works.
Is there a song uh where there's a line that you're really proud of, a recent song you've written?
Uh, yeah. Let me think of one. Well, the one, shoot, I'm trying to think of one that I wrote by myself, actually. Yes, okay. So I have a new song called Beauty. And the whole idea of the song is it's a song about why I write songs. So one of the reasons I write songs is because I want to put beauty in the world. And so I was writing that, and it's kind of an AABA song. So it's format. It's not a verse chorus. And I got this. There are very limited words that rhyme with world. So
Yeah.
I'm on a mission to add beauty to the world as the hook. And so there's like, so I had like three unfurled. I had to use the word unfurled, which I would never put in a song, but I did in this one. And then I had newborn boys and girls, and I had to make that line not be cheesy. But the line that I'm most proud of in that song that I still just get, ugh, I love it when I sing it, is the third verse is, it's talking about artists in general, and it says, we throw color on a canvas and scratch a pen across paper, learning to redeem mistakes because life has no eraser. Um, so this is the line, might spend a lifetime undiscovered, still the oyster makes the pearl, on a mission to add beauty to the world. And I loved that little pearl illustration because I could just picture this little oyster down there, in the ocean. Nobody may ever find that pearl, but he's just doing what he is made to do. So that was a line that got me fired up and that I still enjoy singing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great line.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because it's true.
Well, it's more of a
Someone,
poetic song.
yeah, it's true.
Right.
Someone might not ever find that oyster, but
Yep.
it's still going to make the pearl.
Yep. It's still going to do its job, adding beauty, creating something beautiful, and I feel like that's what I do. Nobody may ever know who I am on much of a broad basis, but I just keep doing what I'm supposed to do, what I think God put me here to do. So,
Yeah, same.
yeah.
Oh, are you ready for a pop question?
Yes, ma'am. And you took all the funky ones out, right?
Yeah, but if it's a weird question, you can veto it and I'll draw another one.
Okay.
Have you ever written a strongly worded letter?
Oh, yes, I have one on my computer right now, an email that I probably will not send, but it's helping me just to write it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've probably, yes, and I'm sure I've sent them before, but I try not to do that anymore.
I think I wrote but never delivered a really strongly worded email to letter to my ex.
Oh,
And I might
yeah.
have burned it. I don't know. I don't think I gave it to him, but
Mhm. I did
lots
that
of
a couple of
strong
months ago. I
words.
wrote a letter to somebody, and then I read it the next day, and I went, ooh, and I stood at the kitchen sink and took a match to it.
It's
So,
amazing like what a
yeah,
night of sleep will do.
yes, yes, absolutely. And I always double check before make sure I don't hit reply all on some of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that
Ah, so
before.
yes, I've written and sent, and I've written and had the sense not to send.
That's good. Do
Yep,
you have a question for me?
I do. I have a couple, but I'm just going to see what we get through.
Okay.
What is the best songwriting advice anybody has ever given you?
Uh, that's a good question. Um, the first thing that comes to mind was not exactly advice, but she was the first songwriter that kind of let me in a way and like
Yeah.
spent time with me and played me her songs. And I learned by listening to her songs that it's important to be vulnerable in music,
Mm.
and I could see a
Mm.
striking difference in her songs with my songs because her songs made me feel something and my songs didn't.
Huh.
And her
Wow.
songs were written, she talked about, she used me and you, and she talked about a letter that you wrote me or something that you did to me, and I was like, she sang it and I realized she is singing about something that's really happened to her, and
Huh.
I realized, oh, I don't do that. And that was like 2012.
Hmm.
And so my songwriting shifted significantly in that spring.
Wow.
Um,
That's great.
yeah, so it in that sense it was more of like advice, but by example, leading by example. Um,
That's legit.
yeah, and
Hmm.
I go back and forth because you get conflicting advice. Some people are like, just write down the first thing that comes to your mind, and that sounds to me like taking a test. Just write down the first answer. And
Yeah.
like, cause I'm really bad at taking tests. I can argue my way in
Yeah.
or out of any answer and like convince
Hmm.
myself that it's right or wrong or whatever. And I have
Yeah.
like the opposite of a photographic memory. I'll remember like the page number. I can see the page number and I
And
can see
where it
where on
was.
the page it is, but it's like a blank. And I'm like,
Yeah.
not helpful.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just sometimes I just try. I try not to force it too much when I'm writing.
Mhm.
And if I get stuck, like go to a different part of the story or like refine the hook and then come back to it or
Mhm.
play it on the instrument and see if the melody needs to change, like, and if it really, like, I've been banging my head against a wall on a song recently that I really love. It's a verse, but I don't have a hook.
Ah,
And so, and I just, yeah, and I keep writing different choruses and different verses, and nothing's quite, so I might just leave it or mine it for parts. I don't know, but
hmm,
um, I don't know. I feel like most advice I go back and forth on. Like
yeah,
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
yeah. I didn't know if there's anybody that had ever kind of helped guide any of your writing or not. I've had mentors along the way, so
Um,
it always helps.
I ask Grace Pettis a lot of questions. I've asked Tom Meany a lot of questions too. And then like co-writing with people, I always try and pay attention to like tricks that they use to get
Yeah,
unstuck or to like
yeah.
push the idea further in a different direction.
Hmm.
So
Good.
yeah. But like I don't know. I'm trying to always learn, like learn by listening to songs and see
Yep.
like how my favorite writers are crafting their songs and like what kind of um like framework they're using to
Hmm.
like piece the song together, what kind of timing, rhyming
Yeah.
patterns. I do a lot of slant rhyming. I don't do a lot of perfect rhyming.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm very casual, I think, in my speech, in my writing.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know that I have a satisfying answer.
Well, it's okay. I just was curious. I
Yeah.
always
What
like to
about
learn
you?
what the writers are thinking through. How about me? Did you say? Um, the best piece of advice I think I wrote about this recently to somebody, is to believe that my best songs are still ahead of me.
Hmm.
And
I like that.
that keeps me motivated, even though I feel like I've written some. I mean, I don't say this, but people say you've written, you write song of the year type of songs. Hey, Parker McKay. Um, and yet, if I didn't believe that my best songs were still out in front of me, I would settle. And so that's what keeps it interesting for me, is just knowing I still have great songs, and I'm just going to go after them and keep it. It's what makes it refreshing and worth doing.
Yeah.
The other piece is rewrite. Just don't be afraid to rewrite. That rewriting is part of the writing process, and I used to think that it had to come out all right at first. I mean, this is a long time ago, and but I think learning to rewrite and be happy and really be excited, especially when there's lines that I loved, but they were taking the song the wrong direction, and being willing to go, okay, that cannot go here because this verse has to stick with this idea, and then being really committed to just crafting that song the best that you can. And so
Yeah.
making some hard choices,
Those are good.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrestle with the rewrite
So,
because I can rewrite to death, like pick a song to death.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you kind of have to know what you're aiming for, I think. Otherwise, you can just keep changing and it's like swinging in the dark. You kind of got to know, well, why am I rewriting this line? What is it I need to achieve? What am I trying to say? Is there a better way to say it? And then there is a time where you just, you're done. But that was hard for me to figure out at first.
Do you leave a lot of
Co-writing
songs
helps with that.
unfinished,
Do I?
or do you like finish them all of your eight?
Uh, Well, co-writing helps because it forces me. I do a lot of co-writing in Nashville. I'm leaving in the morning to drive up there, and when you have somebody else and you've got two brains working on it, that it's much easier to know when a song is finished. And usually those will get finished. Some that I start by myself, yes, I have a bunch that are in different stages of writing, and I am interested for a while, then I lose interest. But the ones that really get me interested, those are the ones that I will finish. That I go, this could go on another album, and then
Yeah.
I'm fired up. I'm fired up about those.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and do a pop question, and then do you have a song that?
I do have a song. Do you want me to? Is there one you want me to do? I was gonna do "Careless with a Heart," but I'd be glad to do "Devil I Know" or kind of whatever.
Mm, I'll let you decide.
Which?
Like, you're my guest, so you get to choose a song. Let's see.
Huh?
You're my guest, so you get to choose your song.
All right.
Um, Okay. Have I ever eaten food off a stranger's plate? Possibly, but I think it was more likely that I drank a stranger's drink, just mistaking it for my own.
Oh, okay.
Like
Like
at a,
honest mistake.
yeah, not I mean, I've definitely eaten food off of a friend's plate when they weren't looking, or a sibling's
Yeah.
plate at a restaurant.
Yes. Yes.
But I've definitely mistakenly just like
Took
gone
a
to town
sip
on
out.
somebody's drink and then realized that's not mine.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah. And yeah,
Yeah,
it happens.
I haven't consciously eaten off somebody's plate, but it might have happened accidentally
Yeah.
off a stranger's plate.
Yeah.
I think if I were like, sometimes I'll see a plate of unfinished, like a French fry go by, and I'm like, ooh, that looks good.
Yep.
But I don't do that. So, yeah.
What'd you decide?
Well, I think I might do Devil I Know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. Let me just look up one thing on that. I can never remember where I capo songs. I have so many now that I'm like, okay, do I capo on the second fret or the first fret? So let me just pull this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was right. Second fret. Okay, I'll do Devil I Know, which is a song that I wrote with my friend Scott Shawn White and Deidre
Scott.
Thornell. You know Scott, you met him at Swerfa?
I met him at Swerfa.
Were you at Kerrville last year too, or did we talk about that?
I've never actually been to Kerrville, ever.
Okay. All right, so we were writing with Deidre Thornell. Scott and I write a lot together, and we were working on another song, and she said, you know, I have a song idea that I thought of you all for, and she said, it's The Devil I Know, and we immediately loved that title. But most of the time you think of that saying, better the devil I know than the devil I don't know. Like, I'd rather have my own problems than take on somebody else's. So the next time we got together, we started working on it. And as we dove into the topic and started thinking about addiction and people we know and stories that we know and our own lives, we went, you know, the devil we know is bad enough. We don't even need to talk about the devil we don't know. So, it's probably the darkest song on the album.
I have a tendency to choose those.
But I love it. Can you hear me okay? If you'd have lost that fight with a bottle like I lost that fight, ever had your finger on the trigger and wondered if you might, if you found out that hell was how far down you had to go, then you might know the devil I know. The one who knows just where to stick the knife. The one who knows where all your demons hide. Convinces you can't be saved, and life says you're the one to blame. Oh, that's the devil I know. If you've had to say you're sorry, knowing sorry ain't good enough. Started getting it together, getting better till you messed it up. You got some fight left in you, but you wonder how many rounds you'll have to go. And you might know the devil I know, the one who knows just where to stick the knife, the one who knows where all your demons hide. Convinces you can't be saved, and life says you're The one who knows just where to stick the knife. The one who knows where all your demons hide. Convinces you can't be saved. Your life says you're the one to blame. Oh, 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 that's the devil I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing it.
You're welcome. And that's we rocked it out on the album. I
Yeah.
love the way it turned out on the record. It's we did drums. We kind of made the drums sound like When the Levee Breaks.
It definitely like kind of caught me off guard. I was like, whoa. The energy was
Oh,
like,
good.
yeah, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah. She's not all just sweet, sensitive stuff.
I'm looking at the time. Let's see. I'm trying to decide. I haven't played a song at the end in a while. I'm gonna go ahead and play one. It's a shorter one, but it's a new one.
I'd love to hear it.
I don't know how loud the phone is. You may have to turn it down a little bit so it doesn't echo into the.
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah. Or
All right, I'm down.
okay. It's called Heavy. And
I love that.
there is or was a project going on with Austin artists to get people to write in and about Corona and what's going on, and to submit a mixed track by May 15th. And so I've written several songs, but most of them are either like sad or funny sad. This one was more serious and not as on the nose, you know? So that's where the song came from, and also I wrote it for a friend, which is always helpful.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's called Heavy. Take off that mask you're wearing. You're holding me at bay. I know it's scary sharing the thoughts that keep you away. And I know it's heavy, but I wanna bear that weight. Are you feeling lost and wondering, will the money come through this month? Will morning never dawn again? Will the darkness swallow us? And I know it's heavy, but I wanna bear that weight with you, if you want me to. I know you're thinking things in that head of yours, but I wanna know if we're thinking the same things. But I'll never know if you never say a word. If I say this again, will you finally hear me? That I know it's heavy, but I you want me to with you.
Woo! Nice. I love that.
Thank you.
Wow, so that's brand new?
It's I think I started it on April 19th, and
Oh, wow. Good.
it's the second verse is new as of this past few days.
Good.
Just trying to like iron it out.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I do love your melodies too, so
Thank you.
cool.
Really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
It's nice to hear new stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have been writing about um, this whole virus thing and being alone and
Yeah.
trying to keep things positive to some extent. I think there's been a lot of loneliness and despair here and
Yeah.
there. So I know writing, when I've gotten together with friends on Skype and written and done Facebook Lives and things like this, thank you for doing this, because I think it helps
Yeah, that
alleviate
was one
some
of
of
the
that.
reasons I wanted
Yeah.
to, is because I needed FaceTime with people, and
Yes.
it's encouraging
Yes.
to have a conversation.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then have a little bit of music. Instagram's not always the best for playing a live song. I feel like the sound has gotten a
Hmm.
little better over the past 2 months, but
Yeah, good.
yeah.
Yeah. Zoom is my least favorite. I've seen some Zoom ones. I'm just going, oh my gosh, I'm not doing Zoom.
I did
But,
one that was actually
thank
all
you.
right, but
Really? I think
I
some people have said there are some things you can do to make it better, but really, thank you for inviting me to be on your. I love what
thank
you're
you for
doing,
being
and
my guest. I've
just
really appreciated it and enjoyed having you
happy
on
to
and
do it.
chatting.
Thank you. Well, it's good. I want to get to know you better, so we have to meet up sometime when we are all allowed to
Deal.
go to music functions again.
I mean,
So,
I'm also down for a phone call too. I was like, I think I have 10 more
yeah.
questions for you that I didn't have time
Oh,
for.
good.
So,
Good. Well, we'll do
um,
it.
I have Helene linked in my Instagram bio, so you can find her, click on her, give her a follow. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. And I'll be back here tomorrow night, same time,
Good.
same channel.
I'll probably catch you. Thank you again.
Yeah,
This
have a
was
good
fun.
one.
All right. Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.